Oldish, the show where age-old questions meet new-age answers. With your hosts, Randy Spelling, Brian Austin Green, and Sharna Burgess.
Hey everybody, welcome to Oldish. We're here. We are going to talk holidays.
This is the holidays.
It's the holidays.
Yeah.
I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We're heading into it all
We're
right now.
about to go on break. You guys are about to go into Christmas, into New Year's. There are all sorts of things. Tons of family over tons of things. So this is we want to reach out to everyone and say
And we're going to have
holidays.
the same things, by the way. All the food,
Yeah.
all the family, all the things going on. It's going to be busy and chaotic as the holidays usually is. So we just wanted to say that we're thinking of you guys and we want you to have an amazing time and share some of our favorite things that we do for Christmas and the holidays. Actually, Randy, you shared an amazing one with us last year.
Yeah,
That worked
was
so well for
and
us.
and we're continuing that one this year. And
year.
I've actually
You are.
shared that idea with other people as well.
It was a game changer. So for those of you that didn't hear that episode, Randy shared how on Christmas morning and throughout Christmas Day, they slowly open their presents. So it doesn't happen all at once.
It's not the mass craziness of just tearing things apart and Christmas
Where
is over.
Kids don't
in 10
appreciate
minutes.
anything
Right.
because they tear through the paper and then they forget what they even got because they go through it so fast. So we open up a present, then we'll have a hot chocolate, go for a walk, we'll come back in, we'll open up another present.
We'll play with the present that was open too, like build it. Like if it's
Explore
something
it.
to build, it's like put it all together.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. Let's play with it a little bit. Let's have breakfast. And then all of a sudden now the kids are remembering everything that they got because we have interacted with it. It was
honestly, also selfishly as a parent, it is so much more satisfying because when you get all that stuff for them and they don't even look at it,
it's so heartbreaking.
you feel like, what was that for? There's that money down the drain.
You spend so much time making sure that you're picking out really cool things and you're excited for them
like,
to
I
see
want to
it.
be validated, damn it.
Right. I'm getting this for you, but really, could you give me some reaction?
Appreciate it. Yeah, totally. So
It's
thank
taken
you.
me months scouring through what your likes and dislikes are for me to pick
And
this.
it does. So thank you for sharing that one with
You're
us
welcome.
last year, Randy.
I think I remember what we were talking about too was like the going for a walk or a bike ride. And didn't you post a picture of going outside and walking in your
The kids
neighborhood?
got new bikes last year too, so we all went out on a bike ride together, which we will do again this year. And maybe even Zane, because he has his little pedal bike that he goes out on. We
like
go
a
up and down the
stand-up bike?
street. Yeah. So yeah,
Scooter.
we'll definitely he's been on scooters too.
Yeah.
How is he that big? It's crazy.
He's riding them himself. So the kids ride them all the time. And so he used to just kind of like push it around, like he would turn around backwards and tip it up and push it
like a trolley. Like
and now he'll get on and kind of push himself. And it's like,
it's very
just
cool.
crazy.
That's
going
gonna
to
feel so good to see him try and keep up.
It does, but
and,
it's
like, for
terrifying
him-
at the
It's
same
terrifying.
time.
Right,
Yeah, it's
I'm sure.
terrifying because he has a death wish. Like I know all toddlers do, but this kid just runs toward it.
He's
It-
fearless.
Well, you also have a steep hill.
Yeah, that we do, which he wants to run down all the time.
A
He
steep
wants to
hill.
ride the scooter down the hill. And it's like, no, we're going in the backyard.
Oh, yeah. I would be terrified.
Terrified.
Of that hill.
Although now, so we have a net on the pool.
Yes, but he fell in it.
He fell in. He was
fell
in pajamas.
He fell in?
He fell in, and so he was just laying on the net. And the net it's really smart. So it's a new
It's the best.
safety feature for pools. It used to be you put kind of the fence thing, they
Yeah.
drill the hole, and you put but it looks like a hospital pool. Like they're really unattractive. So now,
A hospital pool.
Hospital
yeah,
pool.
now it's right. You
Like a
know the
motel
hospital pools I'm
pool?
talking
A
about.
motel pool is one. Yeah. There you go.
No, it has a
I'm trying
hospital
to think
feel
of a
to it.
hospital
Kind
pool
of
that
like,
I've
you know
ever
when they
seen.
have the things for people that are in wheelchairs that slowly lower them
Yeah.
into the pool? It's the same. It's the same
That's
look.
what it gives you. That's the
Yeah,
vibe it gives you.
totally. So
It's
There's
giving
a
hospital.
net.
Okay.
So was he just laying there on the net?
So the net, the
Face
spaces
forward.
are only big enough for an arm to go through or whatever. So a child can't drown in the water. They're in the net. They still get wet,
right.
but they can't fit
They
through
can't
the holes.
submerge
It's
themselves.
So he was
No, they don't
completely
submerge at all.
tangled and trapped in the net. And, he's yelling and he was in his pajamas and he was like head to toe soaked. The pool's freezing because it's now
Freezing.
fall.
He was so unhappy,
Oh, I
like
bet.
very upset.
But he was playing right next to it. So it's kind of like
he was putting stuff in the pool.
he was
picking up
filling
his
things
toys.
of water. He was like filling cups full of water with the pool, and he fell over. So now maybe he won't do that anymore.
Thank God.
I know.
That you have the net.
He absolutely will. But yeah, the net is
a game changer.
Oh my God.
He can
It's a
swim
game changer.
though. He can swim because he's been in swimming lessons since he was like 7 months old.
Right.
So we know like survival swimming at the very least, like he's okay.
Right.
But still, one of my biggest anxieties, because we have a pool in Australia, is by law you have to have a fence.
Really?
By law. And it used to be that way
It used to be that way
years
here.
ago, but they removed the
My
law.
parents
I
have
don't
a
know
fence
why.
around their pool when they built it in the 80s.
Anyway, one of my biggest things was please, and it took us a little while to get it because Bri doesn't have the same anxiety I have. He's 5 deep. You know what I mean? He's 5 kids deep. He's like,
well, Zane was so young. It was like he's not walking. He's not like
he was crawling.
There's no locomotion on his own. He's not going to get to the pool. We don't have to worry now.
Yeah.
But I knew as soon as the time was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I could tell she was really uncomfortable.
But anyway, we finally have an.
Are you going to use that against Brian? Are you going to go, see, my anxiety, it helped us. It saved his life.
Yeah.
Right?
See?
I saved his life. I had the net put in. Yes.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Well, so glad that the net was there.
Yes. This Christmas chat's really Christmassy and festive, by the way.
I have a question about Christmas. Someone actually asked me this the other day. They said, what do you do when, like, for this year, it's so stressful to do all of the things, to have the perfect holiday. I was like, oh, that right there. To have the perfect
you're adding
holiday
too much stress.
already feels stressful.
Yeah.
And I said, so what are the things? And they said, it's just the cooking is so much. We always have these foods, but I was toying with the fact of going out and buying the green beans or buying a couple pies.
I'm a big supporter of this.
And I said,
grocery stores that do the pre-made meal stuff, like it's the greatest to go there, get the stuff, you just heat it up. It's delicious. And then it takes the stress out of like, oh my God, did the stuff I made all day taste good or not? The pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's not about family anymore. You spend all day cooking and preparing for this day compared to just heating things up. And then it's like, you can hang out with everybody. And it's like, oh, the food's warm and ready to go. And everybody eats, and it's delicious. It's delicious. Like you're shocked that it's delicious,
For some people, though, I get that that's also like their love language, right?
Totally.
They want to be this is how they're giving back, how they want to be festive. And I think for those that are called to that, do that. Make the pie, roll the pastry.
Do it, but just make sure you do it in a healthy way.
Yeah, do what feels good to you. I think that's how you have the perfect holiday. You have to align with what feels good for you, because if the host is stressed, then nothing else runs smoothly anyway. So if you have to delegate and actually ask other people to bring things, or ask other people to help with things, or ask someone to come early to set the table out, or, whatever that is, I think asking for help is important if you need it, and sharing in the responsibility, because that's also beautiful, right?
Yes.
Teamwork to make the holiday come together. Asking for a family member, hey, would you mind coming the day before and we can set the table and do the things together? That's a beautiful moment to share.
Incorporating the kids.
The day before, setting the table?
Yeah, but it's like a whole setup.
Yeah. No?
I get that.
My goodness.
But if you do a whole layout and you have all the decorations, I get that. Prepping everything.
Right.
I think asking for help and doing what feels aligned and feels good. And if you can delegate. If it's within your budget to purchase the green beans instead of making them, absolutely do that. Mm-hmm. I think all of that is helpful. And again, asking for people to bring stuff too.
Yeah.
Is really cool. It doesn't have to all be on one person.
I know.
Because you never get the appreciation for that.
Right. And just like you said, the pressure alone of having to have it be a certain way, if it's your love language, if you love being in the kitchen and it's time with family and you're talking, great. But those things that you go, oh, I have to do that.
You spend the whole day trying to be a perfectionist.
Those have-tos. Like, you could just eliminate some of the have-tos.
Yeah.
I think and incorporating the kids. I think it's okay to delegate each kid to have a job to do something so they feel a part of and purposeful, even if you might get some pushback. And you feel like everyone's helping out to create this thing, as opposed to the parents always doing all of the work, it feeling thankless.
Yeah.
Right? And then at the end, you're like, I'm so tired. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. I also just had that thought as you were speaking, Randy, of like, you're also not teaching your kids how to host and provide and create a beautiful holiday party or holiday memory by just doing it all for them.
Right.
But having them involved is that whole give a man a fish or teach a man to fish thing, right?
Yeah.
You're giving them the skills to be able to continue that legacy of these holiday parties and those moments and memories that you create as the parent or the host. But then you're giving it to your children so they know how to do it. And I think that's really important to continue tradition and family values.
We do that every night at dinner. Like when we're setting the table, Sharna's great, like having the kids be a part of it. Like, okay, Journey, you're getting all the plates, and who's getting all the cups and the what,
Yeah.
and the kid, and it's like, a beehive, just everybody's doing stuff, but it's like, then the table gets set and everybody's excited because they all did their little part. And
Yeah.
it's
And you know, that's
invaluable.
something that I've noticed about kids, and we talked about this recently, is they are born wanting to be a part of a team. They want to
Yes.
contribute. Zane at 2 years old helps me put away groceries, unpack the dishwasher, help me make my coffee this morning. Like, he just wants to do.
How did he
Mama,
contribute
make
to the coffee?
Like,
He pushes the button.
He
He pushes the
picks
button.
the pod,
Yeah.
he puts it in, he pushes the button, he put the sugar in the cup, he stirred it for me. Like,
Yeah.
but they are innately born and come into this world with a desire to be a part of community.
Right.
And we're robbing them of that by doing everything for them. And then we're also robbing them of the skills and therefore the confidence to be able to do these things for themselves later in life.
That's so true. It's so true. I was putting together furniture the other day. We ordered all these things because my youngest really wanted a room change. It was just all kind of baby kitty stuff, kind of shabby chic, and
Yeah.
she for 2 years
Right.
has been asking. So we researched stuff together. We found this, the put together furniture, but one of these pieces came and there was bags of hardware. I was like, what? I could just build this from scratch. What's the
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I had her help me
Yeah.
for her bed, and she had to drill, and she didn't want to do it. She was resistant at first, but then she drilled it in, and the first one she drilled in, she went, "Oh, that's satisfying."
Yeah.
And then she kept putting it together, and we were reading the instructions, and by the end, you could just see the sense of accomplishment.
Yep.
The pride and
right,
like,
and then
that
something
I was
like,
a
"Oh,
part
I
of this,
put this
right.
together," and of course there's LED lights that you stick on, and like the
course
simple
there is,
strips,
yeah.
but that was all the rage, So yeah, just that confidence of being able to do that themselves, which translates to when they're at college or university, as you say it, right?
Yes, we do.
That they can do this and not feel
Yeah.
like they don't know how to do it.
Absolutely. So maybe that's a great intention for everyone this year heading into the holidays, is involving people more, involving your kids more in
Yeah.
the tradition, instead of feeling that it's all on you and you have to provide and you have to do. Ask for help from people around you, and also by
In all of
involving
it,
people.
and not even just the meal, like Journey putting batteries into his toys, like putting things together, like involve everybody in that as much
Allow
as
it to
you can.
be teamwork
Yeah.
instead of all on one person being the host.
Yes.
Sharing
And
that.
I do really think for this year, I mean, let's face it, things are more expensive.
Things are more
Like,
expensive.
People are hurting out there. Things are more
Yes.
expensive.
Yes.
Inflation's still up, even though they say that it's down.
Right.
And I think it's okay to actually message this in a healthy way, in terms of not like, okay, we can't afford this, so we're not doing it, and blah, 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 which isn't a bad thing to say necessarily. But kids are very impressionable, and they can pick up on that fear.
Mm-hmm.
And, we all have our own relationship with money. I think saying, this year we're going to make things about quality,
Yeah.
not quantity. So it's not about the amount of things that are under the tree or all of these activities that we do. We're going to really focus on making this as meaningful as possible. That might mean that instead of 5 gifts, we pare down to 3 or 2. But what would be the most meaningful, and have everyone go, okay, instead of just 10 things on my Christmas list, if I could only have 3
What
or
would they be?
2, or what would be the most important thing? If you could only do one special activity, or, what if we did an activity that costs no money whatsoever? What could we do? And involve everyone in the creative process with that, I think it's helpful.
It's really good.
I love that.
You know, for us too, again, that feeling of stress, not bringing so much stress into the holidays. So if there's something that, hey, how could we save money? Is there one dish that we don't have to do? What could we give up? Or is there, you know, instead of gifts between us, what if we saved the money that we would spend and we put it in an account, and 4 months from now we take a trip, and we could, or, you know, it could add up, and we could then go to a few dinners throughout the next few months.
Yeah.
Where
Maybe
it
we make
feels
the
easy.
day our present to each other.
Yeah, something.
It's a great idea.
Something just to alleviate the stress around the holidays, because I think that happens.
We were
It
talking
does.
about that before, like, because normally we try and like outdo ourselves every year with
Yeah.
like the gift and what's a
Right.
cool thing. And we were just talking about this the other night. We were like, okay, you know what? This isn't the year for
Yeah.
that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
let's make a promise that we're not going to do the ridiculous things that that we normally try and do.
Yeah.
And we're going to make this holiday about something else. And I think I really like that with the kids, because I've been feeling that also, but it's finding the right way to frame it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
so the kids don't feel like they don't feel your stress, and then they feel stressed about it, and then they feel bad that like they're a present. You don't want to create that.
Right. But also, you know, I mean, I'm just throwing out a number, right? 10 gifts versus 5.
Oh,
That's a significant savings. It's half. But also, do they need the 10? Are they going to
No.
remember when they're older, when they're 15, when they're 18,
The
when
10,
they're 20? Are
15
they going to
gifts that they
remember
got.
all 10
No.
gifts?
Nope.
They might remember one that they really, really love, but they're going to remember the walks that you do. They're going to remember the experiential things,
right.
because there's more sensory in that than just every year the gifts that you got, unless, truthfully, there's a gift each year. They're going to remember that, because that one gift that they really wanted, that they really hoped for, that might be different. But when you start going quantity, at some point it just fades into the background.
Right.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
So
It does,
be
for sure.
honest, you both also maybe paring down or not, outdoing. Do you honestly feel that you're giving something up? Do
No.
you feel a little bit?
Not at all.
No, it's I think it's honestly like there's a fun sometimes in like being lavish and like giving somebody some crazy, just to see the expression on her
their
face
face.
when she opens something. She's like, oh my God, this is a beautiful necklace, or it's an amazing watch. There's that. So there's kind of like that, it's like you're kind of building yourself up with it also. The present
feels
isn't
good.
necessarily completely for the other person. There's a
Right.
part of giving it that is an experience for
Right.
you also.
Like, gifts isn't our love language, but it is a love language. Like,
Sure.
it does resonate. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Gifts
Yeah.
definitely, it's not that they mean nothing. It's the giving and receiving that is really beautiful, but it's not the everything for either of us.
Right.
You know, the quality time, acts of service. Like, we have others that are much more prominent for each other. But who doesn't like? I mean, this man has spoiled me with gifts, Randy.
Well, that's what, once
Come
you
on.
set
Super
the bar,
fun. I know.
He's
it
so
is-
good
it's hard
at
to-
it.
yeah.
Woo, but I don't expect it and I don't need it. And there will be other years where we feel like, okay, let's go all in and do something.
Right.
Let's do a
Right.
trip. What I love that we were doing in the beginning, and then life with kids, especially Zane coming into the picture, just changes things
Yeah.
because you're all about giving the kids everything. But we would do experiences, like the shark diving trip was one. So it was something we could do with each other that became, it's the gift that keeps giving. We still think about that trip that we did with each other. It's so much more than just a bunch of gifts.
You
Yeah.
see the pictures in your phone. You're like, oh man, that was
great.
I still can't believe I look at the pictures now and I go, I cannot believe we
Yeah.
did that. Like,
right.
And-
And I'm sure you'll do it again.
yeah,
And we will.
right, just not this year.
Right.
And I
Like, let's
think-
take breaks.
And I
you
think
know?
that idea that you had of, for those of you that are listening, like, instead of the money you would have spent on the presents that year, put it into an account, put it into a little savings account that is your vacation that you can do with each other. And if it takes 2 Christmases to get there, then it takes 2 Christmases to get there.
Right.
But it's
you
almost
get to-
like free money.
Yeah, you save and maybe even put the birthday money in there that year too. And then within 12 months, you can go shark diving, or you can go, you've found that experience that you can have with each other. I think that is way more valuable than trying to find things.
Right.
You know what I
Totally.
mean? Things are not as much as experiences. Those experiences we will
I don't
talk
want to.
about
I don't want
forever.
to see underneath our tree packed with presents like we've done the past
Yeah.
couple of years, like packed.
But also our kids
And then the
getting
kids
older.
start. They're counting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you
yeah,
got
the
5.
counting.
Why do
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
only have 4? And it's like because your gifts are
More
5
expensive.
times more expensive than.
Yeah.
But it starts. I'm over that experience.
Yeah.
Of it.
Because we've spoiled them, right? We have, because it's exciting and it's fun. So we have to adjust that. And exactly to that expensive point, they're getting older now. So we're not talking about 10 toys from Target.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
things are different now. So no, you don't get 10 presents under
Right.
the tree anymore, because that one present is 3 times the cost of
Yeah,
your 10
we're talking
presents.
about
Yeah.
like, oh, really? You really want an Apple Watch? Okay, well now that is
That is
Right.
a
you're
that's your
getting
present.
one
Right.
thing.
Right.
That's your present.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're
Right.
adjusting things as we go, but our kids are also amazing. And once you explain things, and you they understand, they get it. They're not bratty at all.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Our 8-year-old is, I call him a dragon though, because he loves to sit on his treasure.
He does.
His gifts is his love
When
language.
when he
Okay.
unwraps
For sure.
everything,
Okay.
he then piles it up into a
Yeah,
spot,
he-
and it's
Oh,
like
really?
his little,
Oh yeah.
in the in the living room,
Oh,
like
that's-
and this is all my stuff that I got today.
For anyone that doesn't read fantasy novels, a dragon sits on their pile of gold. Like that's what I mean. They love treasure, and so that's our journey.
He's a little dragon.
He's a little dragon. Yeah.
That's so
He loves
funny.
it.
Okay, take us out with a favorite dish.
Ooh.
Pumpkin pie for me.
Yeah,
like
it's pumpkin pie
yeah,
for you.
I it's oh my god, I can.
I'm a pumpkin guy too.
Are you?
I am.
You know
I
what's
do.
funny? So many so the kids now, they hadn't had pumpkin pie before, and Zane, for some reason this Halloween, every time we saw a pumpkin, he'd point to it, he'd go pumpkin, and then he'd say eat.
Eat it.
Really?
He wanted to
Eat
eat
pumpkin?
We don't know why. We don't eat pumpkin in our house. Like I don't know why he associated the two things. Like, oh, it's a pumpkin, you're supposed to eat it.
Yeah.
So then I got like a little pumpkin pie for him to try, and then the kids were all, so they all try, and the other kids hadn't really tried pumpkin pie either, and they love it. It's
I'm
Yeah.
not a fan. I'll eat roasted pumpkin, but pumpkin pie is not my thing. My favorite dish, which I think I'm going to try and do again this year for Christmas, I will outsource all the rest of it, so I only have this one thing to stress about, is roast pork with the crackling on it.
Oh, you do like the porchetta.
We
No?
get a shoulder. Like it's
and you leave the fat on it,
fat-
then you cook it so it's like
score it.
crispy. So it's like it's called crackling over the top of it, so
Score
it's
it.
salty.
Yeah.
You rub salt
and
into
scored
it.
and
It's so good. It's a chunk of crackle,
It's
and then you have
stressful,
applesauce
though.
and gravy.
it's stressful. Your mom made it
stressful.
that one time, and like she was stressed
Stressed
that
making
day
it?
of like
Because
if
that's
it's
my
perfect
mum,
or not.
But my mum is a perfectionist.
But
and that's why.
you won't be the same way if you're making a.
I might be, but that's a stress I'm willing to take on if the rest of it is covered. Do you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
I've just got the pork to think about and I'm not trying to make all the other things,
Right.
then I can do that.
As
but I
long
want
as
a
you
hint
still
of
enjoy
Aussie
the
Christmas
day.
this
Okay.
year, so I want to bring it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good. My mouth started watering
Yeah.
when you said that
Yeah.
because
It's
I could
really
just
good.
hear the crack.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so
that's
good.
really,
And
really
when you
Sorry
bite
for all
into
you
it-
vegans.
When you bite into it, you have the snap of the top layer and then the juicy crispiness of the fat underneath it, and
We
it's
did.
so
We
good.
did. Curtis Stone has a like
Oh
a
my God,
podcast thing.
Curtis
Yeah.
was
And
yes.
and so one of the things he made that we had requested was he made like a true Australian like crackling like the
pork belly.
thing.
I'm actually going to
and
text
made
him and
it
ask him for
perfect.
instructions.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
Oh,
I'm going
yeah.
to text him and be
It
like,
was
give it to me
delicious.
like I'm a 5-year-old.
Right.
How am I going to do this
Please.
pork?
Right.
Please. He might even help me find the right cut.
Oh, that sounds
He'll-
good.
Oh, that's
He'll
at his
help me find the
restaurant.
right
He'll
cut, yeah.
absolutely. That's what he said when you said like I couldn't find the right cut. He was like, "Oh, next time I'll find it for you."
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
You know what my favorite is with pork? I don't know if you've ever tried this, but I will get like either a nice pork chop or like almost like a bone-in ribeye pork, and then just salt. Cook it like a steak. One side seared, and then the other side flip it over, and then take a knob of butter, put it in, and then I get Dijon mustard, a little bit of Dijon, and put it on top, and then orange marmalade, and put it on top, and then spoon the butter on, and the marmalade kind of gets caramelized, because orange and pork is so good together. It's something.
Wait, I've never done this. Randy, this sounds fantastic.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays,
orange
everyone.
lacquer on top of the pork.
Oh, yes, I'm into this. I'll be trying that.
Yeah.
Not for Christmas, but I will be trying
Cut out
that.
the liquor, get the lacquer.
Oh,
all right.
Look at Randy.
Our new mug.
Yeah, there you go. It's coming soon.
Cut out the liquor, get the lacquer.
Happy holidays,
Happy
everyone.
Happy holidays,
everybody.
everyone.
We'll take a short break, and then we'll be back with you after the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you in 2025.
Bye.
Hey, if you're going through something right now, if you need additional support, then please reach out to me at randyspelling.com/help or go to my Instagram at randyspelling. Thanks.